Good morning, guys. So it's a whole different day. We finished this video up today, or not today, the other day. And was welcome back to the Hyde Life. Today we're going to be doing, of course you know the video we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the Bible verse now. So what we're going to talk about, we've been talking about the different periods that the Bible is talking about. We've talked about the preparation. Now let's talk about the manifestation. The manifestation is where Jesus came down, as where God came down and became man. He became Jesus to save us from our sins. So the three books of the Bible that speak of the manifestation is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's the manifestation. Like I said earlier, previously, the preparation, that's where they was preparing for Jesus Christ. That is all the prophets and everything before. That's the Old Testament. Manifestation is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Next time we'll get into the propagation. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hyde Life, and today I've got something really cool to tell y'all. It's a surprise. I've been keeping it a secret for a while. You see that big one? Dang it, there you go. You see those two big ones right there? Let me show you what they are. Big bass of the year, angler of the year, high school. And I've got one more surprise for you. Yep, that's right. I graduated. Yeah, that's right. I'm officially done with high school. Now I'm moving on to work, and I'm gonna continue making these videos for y'all. So that leads us into this video. This video is gonna be about what I've done so far in the past, where I'm at in the present, and what I'm looking forward to doing in the future. So, without further delay, let's get right into it. Guys, and welcome back. Today we're talking about, well, I already told you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, basically how we're gonna do this is we're gonna try, and I'm gonna tell you everything that I've done, even the bad things. That way you can learn from my mistakes. First off, we're going to start from the beginning, and I'm also going to tell you what I realized I should have done in those situations. Starting out, I already told you about being Big Bass of the Year, Angler of the Year, graduating and all that. We're going to start talking about my first tournament, hopefully. So, going into high school, I joined the fishing team. My first tournament, did not get to compete in. I cut my finger off. Would have won it, probably flipping a jig or something. It would have been a good tournament for me to fish because it's my home lake. Moving on to the next tournament, it's Grand Bayou. It's about 2 weeks later during the fall. Let me set the stage for it. It's fall. It's that early fall time of the year, though, whenever all the fish, they're just everywhere. They're scattered. It's really just junk fishing. So we started out deep and did not catch anything out deep. Had several good bites, but never landed them. And even if we would have landed them,
it would have been fish in the slots, some 3-pounders that would have been in the slot. We ended up going to a flat and starting chasing schooling fish. So that's where we're going to start on how we should have just chased the schooling fish. But before we start doing that, I'm going to tell you how we were chasing them that day. We were chasing them that day on a bait called a steel shad. I've got one right here if you just wait on me. Okay. That little blade bait right there is a steel shad. And my rod set up for that, Abu Garcia Black Max, not Black Max, it's a Max X. It's nicer than the old Black Maxes. And I've got an old Bass Pro Shop crank stick on it. Okay. That doesn't matter. I placed third in a tournament after catching 3 fish and only having 3 pounds. Safe to say no one else really did that good in that tournament either. But now I know how I could have weighed in 5, and I could have weighed in 5 good ones. And there's several ways I could have done it, because it being that time of year when the fish is scattered, they're just everywhere doing different things. We're going to talk about how we could have chased those bass that I ended up catching in the tournament first, though. So the schooling bass, a different way that I could have caught them, that I probably honestly should have tried before I even fooled with anything else. One of the ways I could have caught them was on a little swim bait, and I'll show you just as soon as I get it. Okay, this here is the perfect rod for the little swim bait. I'm gonna start by talking about everything about it. This rod, this is the backbone of the rig, is the rod. This is a Duckett Jacob Wheeler. It's 7-foot medium power. Not medium heavy, not medium light, medium. It's got just enough backbone, but it's still got that tip. That tip's gonna let you sling it, and it's gonna help skip that bait up under that dock a little bit more accurately. The reel I have is a Penn Fierce 2. It is it's a 2500. The line I've got braided line on here to a 12-pound leader. I don't like going any heavier than 12 unless it's just super muddy water. Then I might go up to 14. But I like, for this rig, 12. Yeah, I like 12 for this rig. I had to think about it a little while. And the hook I'm using, let me get the back so you'd be able to see it. Okay. The next thing I'm going to tell you about, because, I'm sorry, hold on. You got to get everything before you can tie anything on. I'll talk about the knots I tie to this rig in a minute. The hook I use is the next most important thing. The hook I use is a Gamakatsu G-Lock worm hook. This one's 2-aught. I use 2-in-1 for this rig. I also have used an H2O Express worm hook in the past. Now we're going to move on to tying knots for this rig. Crap, I'm so sorry. No, we're not. I just forgot what we're supposed to do. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it with what you need to buy first for it, or what you should have, or giving you ideas of something to buy. Anyway, the rod, you need a rod with a good tip that's also heavy and has enough backbone to set the hook, but still has a good enough tip to set the hook. You need a good reel, real smooth, kind of a little bit faster gear ratio, because you are using that Texas rig hook. Also helps you catch up with them. Oh crap, I said from skipping up under docks. I'm sorry, we're talking about for schooling bass. I'm sorry. I still use that one for schooling bass, so it's perfectly fine, because it is a good swim bait rod. I'm sorry. So we're going to talk about baits that we use. The first one I'm going to talk about I do not have here. It is a Strike King caffeine shad. We use the 4 and 5 inch version. Normally the 4 is just a lot more finessey, and On all of these baits, we tend to use a 3.5 to 4 inch version first, and then later on we'll throw a bigger one if we're not getting bigger bites on the little one. That's after we already have a limit. If we're not getting bigger bites on the little one, we might swap up sizes just to show something. This one is a 3.5 inch Cabela's swim minnow, and that's actually the one that I was using today, or one of the ones I was using today. I used two different ones. I used this one. I did not catch nothing on this one today though, I'll be honest. Didn't catch nothing on it today. Had several bites on it, but did not catch anything on it. It's a little bit tougher of a bait, and it's a little bit harder to set the hook through if they don't have it good. The next one is a Zoom Swimming Super Fluke Junior. And you can tell that it's just Swimming Super Fluke, the small one. A lot of these baits are fairly cheap, and you can find them just about anywhere except for a few of them. Oh, and colors. For schooling bass, you really just want to use just shad colors, if not natural colors. Another one that we use a lot out here is a Rage Swimmer, Strike King Rage Swimmers. We got a box that's already open, a big box. Same thing for these. Smaller first, then we throw the bigger one, unless we're somewhere where, or we already know that we can get big bites on bigger baits, which you tend to be able to do a lot. But if we don't think we're going to be missing fish, we'll go ahead and throw the bigger one too. Another one, okay, I only have the big version of this, but it's a Biospawn Exo Swim. It's really good too. Just smelling of it. This one's the bigger version, like I said, but I need to get some more of the smaller ones. Once again, on the shad colors. The last one, then I'll throw little baits for these, you know, using a little weightless swim bait, is a Kitech. Either the Caffeine Swing Impact or the Caffeine Fat Swing Impact. They both work pretty well. Sometimes they don't want the skinny one, sometimes they don't want the fat one. It just really varies. Now for the big ones, the same ones work really well, just the bigger size. For instance, I've got these here. These are the bigger Zoom Super Flukes. They work well. Just up the hook size, and I'll get you some of the hooks I use here in just a second to show you after I'm done with this. Zoom Super Fluke, but I've added a few to this. I also like the Reaction Innovations. I don't remember what they call this one. It is basically like the Cane Thumper. It is a big swim bait, big hunk of a swim bait. And it works really well. Oh, here's the hook. Never mind, that's not the hook. Let's just say I might have just found a hook in this bag to show y'all, but I don't have it. Another one is a Big Bite Baits Cane Thumper. This one is just a little bit different. It's all the same size, and I really don't like that about it. I like it to have a little bit of more, I want it to look more realistic. This does not really just look that realistic. It looks just like a long turd with a tail, but it's soft and it does work. But it's not my favorite. In fact, it's probably my second least favorite out of all these. But it's got its purposes. Then we've got a Yum It is a Yum. I don't know what the name of it is. Once again, about the same as the Cane Thumper. Just this one actually, you know what? That Cane Thumper is my least favorite. This one beats it just because it's a little bit more slender at the tail. It's going to give it a little bit more action. I mean, to judge how much action you can get on a swim bait, you set it up here like this, and the further it leans over to the side is the more action you're going to get out of it. So this one's going to have a tighter wobble, whereas some of the other ones would be a lot wider. Okay, now I'm going to go get the other hook. This is about the same. I don't have the taper on the bigger ones, and I also am going a little bit heavier wire on the bigger ones, and that reason is to hold big fish, because big fish do bite them. But those little hooks like that, don't be afraid to throw them, especially not whenever you're using a spinning rod. I mean, I just caught a 5.5 out there on it, and I'm putting it in this video. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, I think I've pretty well covered what to do, where to catch them. I just have not showed y'all yet how to fish it. And I'll do that in just a minute. Or actually, I'll do that probably tomorrow, because I'm not going fishing. In fact, I'm fixing to head to church right now. See y'all later. There, now y'all should be able to kind of see. All right, big green sunfish here. We're not really big, it's not huge, but big enough to eat a bass bait. Okay, so since that situation ain't really working out there, we're gonna have to resort in fishing with the old faithful. One way is you could just throw it out there and just reel it real slow. Sometimes you could stop it, sometimes you could pop it. And then another way you can fish it, you can throw it out there, and then you can just kind of pop the rod tip. Or you could just reel and pop the rod tip, or you could burn it. It's really just about trial and error with this bait. The best way to do it though, fish really, really slow. Really, dang it, sorry, crap, bad throw. Because it was just, I messed up and I didn't bother to fix it. I'll put it that way. There we go, that's better. I think I just had a turtle bite this. Anyway. Okay, that's the ways you can fish it. Hey guys, welcome back to Tight Life. Today we're going to be talking about different baits and all that we are using and that we do use out here in this, you know. This is one on a little finesse swim bait, weightless. This one's a Zoom Mini Fluke or super fluke is something, it's the little zoom fluke with the paddle tail on it. We also used caffeine shad, are really good too. And the Cabela's, I don't know the name of it, but it's a little swim bait made by Cabela's. That bass was up here chasing some brim. So, we're talking about this video up here today. Oh my gosh. Digging. 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 Oh Lord. 5-pounder. 5 freaking pounder. No, that's a 6. That right there. Absolute slaunch. 5-pounder at least. Freaking monster. Really don't do no justice to it. It's one of the big ones I put in here last year. That's probably the one from Nantachi. Time to get a release on that slaunch donkey. 5.5. There she goes. How I'm working it. So, essentially, there's several different ways to work it. You could just sit there and just kind of reel it. Got him. Reeling it is working. And this ain't, my mount ain't working though. Not very well. Okay. Hold on now. Good one. This one's a bass. Let me get him out of there. There's 4 fish on the little swim bait. One more, and then I'll do a different bait.